Hello and welcome to this video series on Daily Current Affair Booster. And if you're preparing for IAS, CDS, FCAT, India or CAPF, this video is gonna be really helpful for you because here we discuss all the important news snippets from Indian Express, The Hindu, All India Radio, PIB and RSTV. So this video will be dated on 30th October of 2018. So the first news is about the Namami Gange. So they have actually approved 12 new projects. So you need to understand what is the purpose of Namami Gange. The whole purpose is to actually get our Ganga clean. How are we gonna do that? The first thing is basically the river surface cleaning, cleaning the surface of the river Ganga. Followed which we are going to establish sewage treatment plant because you need to understand most of the industries actually discharge their waste material without treatment directly into the river. That's the sole reason why we are actually developing this sewage treatment plant. Followed by riverfront development because we need to understand that when the river flows through a particular area or a region, it actually even erodes the soil from there. In order to stop that, what we could actually do is basically practice the afforestation. That means planting more and more trees, and followed by general awareness because these two things will play a very key role when it comes to protection of Ganga. Also, you need to understand that recently there was a news about Ganga Action Task Force, which are group of men who will be actually protecting the Ganga, say the mobilization that is going to happen in the Kumbh Mela. All those things will be happening and under the control of Ganga Action Task Force. And this task force will get legalized by 2019 also. And if you remember, there was an activist known as GD Agarwal who went for 112 days of strike and actually recently died also. He actually raised very important concerns also because he told about the technological faults available in the dams which are construction in theory, which will later lead to more amount of pollution in Ganga. He also asked about the new bill to be passed in the parliament, especially for the production of Ganga also. So that tells us why Ganga is very important. Also, we need to understand what is the importance of growing trees, afforestation. The first thing this does is basically it helps the groundwater to get recharged. Followed which it actually reduces the chances of flood and drought because most of the soil get formed there when you actually grow a lot of trees. Also followed which because you know that river actually has a lot of fishes, a lot of other organisms. In order for them to flourish, there has to be minimum amount of pollution within these bodies. Followed which there has to be obviously very much less soil erosion because you're planting a lot of trees, and also this will improve the water quality and then regular rainfall will follow. Coming to next news, it is about the Amur Falcon. So these birds usually migrate from Siberia and crosses over the Indian territory and then to African nations. So why this is important is they usually actually migrate to two important states in India. First is basically Meghalaya, followed by Arunachal Pradesh. So these are the two states where you can actually find these Falcons. So you can see them in the map. So here you can see Meghalaya, and here you can see Arunachal Pradesh. Capital of Arunachal Pradesh is Itanagar, and also you can see how many states actually touches Meghalaya. As I've already told you, there's only one state which actually touches Meghalaya, and that is basically Assam. And then you can see how many states does Arunachal Pradesh touch. So there are basically two. One is basically Nagaland, and then the Assam. Also, you can see the other states here. Sikkim, you can see how many states does it touches. It touches basically only the West Bengal part. And here you can see Tripura again, Mizoram, and you can, if you have been following this, you would have been known about the Bru community which have migrated from Mizoram to Tripura. You can see here Manipur. Manipur touches three states basically. Nagaland you can see, Assam you can see, and even Mizoram you can see. Please understand Manipur doesn't touches Tripura. Followed which this is about a body. It's a statutory body. It's known as CARA, also known as Central Adoption Resource Authority. So say any couple wants to actually adopt a child, you cannot just go into any of the organization and get the or adopt a child. Or even if you do that, the organization should be registered under CARA because this is the whole regulatory body within India who actually regulates the whole adoption process. So this is a statutory body. That means it has been formed by the passing a law in the parliament, and this comes directly under Ministry of Women and Child Development. So if you want to adopt any child within India, if you're a foreigner also, if you want to adopt, you need to pass through this particular organization. And it also mandated under the Hague Convention of Intercountry Adoption of 1993. So all these regulations are followed by this particular organization. So why is this in news right now? So what has happened is this particular institution known as Missionary of Charity. So basically it's a Roman Catholic religious organization where actually children are put for adoption. They're usually people who don't have families, so they are put for adoption here. So you need to understand one thing, that this particular organization, Missionaries of Charity, was actually formed by Mother Teresa. So that makes it really important. And also the body is very important, known as CARA. And know why, what actually does this body do? It's a statutory body. It comes under Ministry of Women and Child Development. Next thing is about air quality index in Delhi. So right now the score here is basically 366, and if you see the scoring here, it will be somewhere here. 366 will become very poor, and you will get respiratory illness and prolonged exposure. So that's the condition of Delhi right now. If you see Pune, it is basically green in color. That's very good. Yellow is okay. Orange is not so good, but red is completely in a danger zone. And you need to understand how is this AQI in Delhi formed. They consider a lot of pollutants, say ozone, particulate matter 2.5, particulate matter 10, NO2, SO2, CO, NS3, and lead. So these are the pollutants which they actually consider while preparing this AQI. They might just ask you in any of these exams, so just remember all these pollutants. Also, on a backdrop, we need to understand that World Health Organization is going to organize basically a conference on pollution and health in Geneva, because according to them, most of the countries actually don't reach the mark of what they have set when it comes to air pollution. So it's just a backdrop of what is happening across the world and what is happening in India. Following which, this is about Vishaka Guidelines, which was actually launched in 1997. As you know, that recently Me Too campaign is happening, and also you need to understand the sexual harassment in workplace is very much prevalent, and that's what we are seeing after the Me Too campaign. So here, what the demand is, the Vishaka Guidelines actually gives you the guidelines about what to do when the sexual harassment happens. That committee to be formed, all those things led to the act known as Sexual Harassment Prohibition and Redressal Act of 2013. So here what is demanded is all these rules and regulations that you have put for sexual harassment should be increased from workplaces to ashrams, madrasa, Catholic institutions. Why? Because there are a lot of news coming up where actually women are being molested in churches, temples, even ashrams. You can take so many examples. So that's the reason they want to extend this Vishaka guidelines or the whole act of moving it from workspace to all these areas of ashram, madrasas, and Catholic churches. Moving forward, here we're going to discuss about three important countries. They are the Scandinavian countries, and they will basically Norway here, Sweden, and Finland. So we'll try to understand the importance of it, because, as you know, if there is any index where it comes about gender difference between the gender equality or basically the human development, all these countries will all be always on the top. The reason being because they invest a lot of money in their citizen. They actually give you free education, free health, and on the contrary, they actually gain a lot of taxes from you. So because they are getting a lot of taxes from you, they are working on the development and the growth of the country. So as a humanitarian issue or basically human welfare, they're working on a lot of things. So as a citizen, if you are living in Norway, Sweden, and Finland, the standard of living that you'll get will be of very much better level compared to other countries. So you can see the capitals of every country. Norway's capital is basically Oslo, Sweden's capital is Stockholm, and Finland's capital is Helsinki. Also, you can see how many countries does Finland touches. Finland touches actually three countries here. You can see Sweden touches it, Norway touches it, and here you can see Russia also touches it. All these countries right over here are basically known as Baltic countries, and here the sea is known as the Baltic Sea. Okay, and followed which this is known as, yeah, and here you can see Denmark also. Denmark here, and its capital is basically Copenhagen. You can see here, and all these are the European countries, and these are Scandinavian countries. This is also part of Europe, and because it's adjacent to Russia also, because they have influence from pro-Russia also coming up here. Also, if you remember the Nobel Prize which are being given, these are usually given in Norway and Sweden. Moving forward, here you will get the closer map of Finland here, capital Helsinki. All told you how many countries does Sweden touches. The answer is it touches Finland, Norway, and please note that Denmark doesn't touch it. Denmark's island, it's a basically island country when it's come to one more part of it. It's Copenhagen. And you will see the Baltic Sea here, it's Gulf of Bothnia and Norwegian Sea here. So that's all guys for this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and share it as much as you can. Thank you and have a nice day. Jai Hind.